you guys are longtime viewers of my channel, then you probably know that ABC is one of my favorite decks of all time. Last time I made an ABC deck profile was a couple weeks before the Forbidden List, and I said if Konami doesn't hit ABCs, this deck is guaranteed tier 1, and then they turned around and they hit it by banning Ancient Fairy Dragon. But now I am back with saying that if they don't hit ABCs again, this deck is still tier 1. It's still a very powerful deck, an incredibly awesome deck that can top a YCS level event. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more ABC videos, then go ahead and use that D to destroy that subscribe button. Also, always use that E to hit that notification bell because, well, we just too strong. Now, I know you guys are expecting a lot more puns, but I'm pretty much alphabetically out of these puns. I don't really have more else. But I want to give a shout out to all of my Patreons. Without you guys, these videos would not be possible. To be serious with you guys, Sean Rempel, this is your deck profile. You were the one that requested ADCs and literally made me start thinking about it. I brought it back to life just for you. Thank you so much for contributing. Without further ado, I present to you a competitive ABC deck profile for this format. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so before I start revealing the contents of the deck, let's look at the stats of ABC, and it's a very well-balanced deck with the ability to completely make some very powerful boards. I think that this is a YCS level type deck, definitely a YCS topping type deck, and the proof is in the pudding. There's actually been a couple of players that have topped it with a Sky Striker ABC variant, and this build we're going to take it a little bit further using Summon Sorceress to abuse an insane combo that even propels ABC even forward or more further forward. This deck is mechanically one of the better decks of the format. Get it? Because they're machines mechanically. All right, so starting off with the monsters. The ABCs, we're going to run 3 copies of who I like to call Chris Brown, a Assault Core. Now, it's almost obvious why I call him Chris Brown, because he's the light-skinned ABC monster, and there's no R in ABCs because the R would stand for Rihanna. Let's not talk about that. 3 copies of B Buster Drake. This card is the most powerful ABC monster because it allows you to get any Union monster from your deck to your hand when it's sent to the graveyard, and also 3 copies of C-Crush Wyvern. I would not run any less than 3, 3, and 3. Mainly because we play cards like Pot of Desires. We want to see our Union monsters, and there are so many insane combos that you can pull off with these guys. I would not play any less than 3. It makes the deck really explosive. Now, to follow up with our A, B, and C, we run 1 copy to support the deck. Get it? Because its name is Heavy Mech Support Armor, and this is something that ABC players just don't seem to play, and I've been playing it for quite some time for a really good reason. When it's normal summoned, you get to special summon a Union monster to your side of the field, and then it basically provides a free link material and gaining your ABC monsters effect. But that's not where this card stops. It can equip itself to a Union monster, to a machine monster, and then that monster can't be targeted by opponent's card effects. Now, part of the combo, you're gonna make an ABC Dragon Buster that cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects and can't be destroyed once because of this card. This card is extremely powerful in this deck, as well as being free link material. Now, the next card we play is kind of controversial. You guys have not seen it in a very long time. 1 copy of Sangan. I'm telling you guys, this card is nutty. It can search the Heavy Mech Support Armor, it can search your C-Crush Wyverns, it can search your B-Buster Drakes, but even more importantly, it can search something else as a part of this combo. Now, granted, Sangan in its new erratum does say that the monster effect cannot be used that turn, but more often than not, if Sangan is destroyed on my opponent's turn, then I wouldn't be using the monster anyways. And if it's sent to the graveyard on my turn, I'm going to search a card that I can use for future reference. So this is a really powerful card, especially as a part of the combo that I'm going to show you guys later. Next, this deck does support quite a few hand traps. It's almost mechanized how it does it. Okay, that's not a good pun. But next, we play 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird, 2 copies of Ghost Belle and Haunted Mansion, and 1 copy of Effect Veiler. Now, I did want to run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring or 3 Droll and Locks at one time, but I hate and absolutely hate drawing 2 of the same hand trap in the first turn, or in any given time, having 2 hand traps of the same name, because more often than not, you won't be able to use their monster's effects consecutively. Like if you draw 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, well, that's 1 more dead card. But if you draw 1 copy of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and 1 of these other cards, you're in a pretty good position, especially seeing that ABCs don't need a lot of cards to work with. So drawing 2 of these is perfect. The next thing I want to talk about is that ABC is really good at being an anti-meta like shutdown deck, as well as being able to go first or second is a really good option. So I wanted to have the ability to lock my opponent down on their turn and also be able to proceed to go through with my turn. Ghost Belle is a card that I really want to highlight in this deck because Called by the Grave is so popular. I think that Ghost Belle is mandatory in this deck because Called by the Grave really hurts this deck. Being able to banish ABC parts and then being able to prevent your opponent from using, or being able to prevent you from using that effect until the end of the next turn, it's really powerful. So I feel like Ghost Belle is really mandatory, and the lone copy of Effect Veiler acts as a 4th infinite impermanence. So that's it for the monsters. We run 18 monsters. I don't think I changed anything in it, and I'm telling you guys, if you guys are questioning the Sangan, wait to the combo tutorial, it's clutch. Next, on to the spells. So what happens when you guys get into a company that is really big, but it's trying to mess you over, trying to mess with your pay grade, trying to mess with your you know, your wage, your hours? You unionize that deck. So that's why we play 3 copies of Union Hangar, and this is the most important spell of the deck. As to your union, if you do work a union job, is probably one of the most important aspects of where your money goes on your paycheck. When this card is activated, you can add 1 light machine type union monster from your deck to your hand. So any of your ABC monsters plus your platform monster as well is when you normal summon a light machine union type monster, you can equip another monster from your deck to your side of the field to that card. It's extremely powerful at getting off your combos, and it is the most important card of the deck. Next thing, or the most important spell, the next card that we play is 3 copies of Terraforming to, of course, search into that Union Hangar because it is that important. Next, I want to talk to you guys about is 3 copies of Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones. Now, a couple of cards that I've already shown you in this build are quite expensive: Ash Blossom, Ghost Belle, and it doesn't get cheaper with this deck. I am going to be providing or giving you guys a budget option as well as posting it down below in the comment section as well. So, of course, both variants are going to run Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones because this card is extremely cheap and it's very free. Being able to provide a monster to your side of the field for link material is just really dumb, and the fact that it's not once per turn only makes it more busted. Now, I run 2 copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, and I actually dropped it down to 2 because opening 2 copies of Mobilize Engage or 1 copy of Hornet drones and 1 copy of Mobilize Engage, I mean, it isn't necessarily terrible, but then it makes your other Mobilize Engages kind of dead because it's easy to recurse, it's so easy to get into. I think 5 copies of Hornet drones is a lot better. It allowed me to drop the 3rd Engage for a better target so I can have more cards to keep on extending my combos. 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Now, I have been seeing quite a few decks run 3 copies of Pot of Desires, and I'm going to tell you guys why I only run 2. It's the exact same reason that I've been saying for over the years. Pot of Desires is like that girl that you see in a club. You want to see her once, and then you never desire to see her again, especially if you did not use a condom. Now, you boys are going out there playing 3 copies of Pot of Desires, not using condoms, and basically doing exactly what I just said. You're fucking yourself. You're not getting deeper into your strategy. You're opening your odds of drawing a Pot of Desires, or unless you finish that game fairly quickly, drawing another copy of Pot of Desires. Which will essentially be the baby. 2 copies of Called by the Grave. It's one of the more powerful cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it stops hand traps, and it also disrupts ABC. So if you ever come into the rear match, this card might come up clutch. And then the last spell card is the card that I actually drop Engage for, is Monster Reborn. This card is an amazing extender, allowing you to special summon parts to your side of the field to keep linking off or keep special summoning whatever you guys decide to do. Now, that is it for the spell cards. Let me show you some awesome trap cards. Fortunately for us, none of the traps in this ABC deck profile pose as women, but 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card is another hand trap, really powerful in the metagame, and if you guys can't afford Infinite Impermanence, I'm going to start dropping those budget options, then Solemn Strikes are a good substitute. 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Now, I was running 2 copies of Torrential Tribute, 2 copies of Impermanence, and then 1 copy of Skill Drain and 1 copy of Imperial Order, which brings you down to 40, but I love playing 42 cards. If you guys want to play 40, I drop an Impermanence and drop a Torrential, or drop a Torrential and drop a Skill Drain, however you guys want it, and then play your 40, but I'm going to go ahead and stick to 42 because that's just my lucky number. Imperial Order locks your opponent out of spells, game winner against Sky Strikers, and so is pretty much Skill Drain. Skill Drain is pretty much a game winner against a lot of decks, maybe not Sky Strikers because they can always activate one of their Engage, or I'm sorry, one of their Mobilize cards, and they'll be okay. Torrential Tribute is a complete board wide, really good against link heavy decks. And then, like I said, Impermanence is basically saying that I'm running 10 traps, or 10 hand traps, and 25% of the time, or most of the time, I should open at least one. That's it for the main board side, or that's it for the main deck with the traps, wrapping it up at 8, bringing you up to 42. Now I'm going to show you guys the extra deck. Starting off with the fusion monsters, 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. There was a pretty big time I was running 2 copies, and there was also some times I lost the game because I didn't play the 3rd copy. Now, you guys could drop it. I feel it's a little bit risky, but this is the boss monster of the deck, being able to disrupt your opponent and then summon your counterparts to your side of the field for practically free and gain more advantage. 1 copy of Nightmare Griffin. This is another really busted card in this deck. It's a part of the combo. You don't necessarily have to run it if you want to extend the combo or go into something else. It's just a really powerful card, and it's just extraordinarily linked. 1 copy of Borlo Bragan. This is the best Link 4 in the game. 1 copy of Saryuja Skull Dread. Another great card in here. Being able to draw cards and then special summon cards and then just do all that other stuff is good. Deco Talker is still the star of this deck. Being able to make a Buster Dragon Deco Talker is still really powerful, because when Buster Dragon tags out, you put him under your Deco Talker, and now your cards can't be targeted unless they want you to get advantage. Summon Sorceress is the card that TCG Europe players can't play, but is really important to the combo. This is what makes the deck even more busted than before. Cleafort Genius is also a very important link because it is a machine monster. It allows you to make Summon Sorceress with ease. Nightmare Cerberus and Phoenix, as well as Goblin. This replaces our Gem Knight, Seraph Knight, Brilliant Fusion that we had to run, because it's a really good card at getting us another summon, and all we have to do is link off into it. 1 copy of Underclock Taker, just a generic Link 2 monster that you might have to go into, and then 2 copies of Striker Ace Kagari. These cards are awesome. I was thinking about running 1 Shizuku and 1 Ace Kagari, but I'm going to stick with 2 Kagari for right now. Just an amazing card to go into when you want to start linking off with your plays. It also provides 2 monsters to your side of the field. You know, you summon Kagari through the token, get the token back, summon the token, and now you have 2 monsters to your side of the field. That's it for the extra deck. For the side deck, and to wrap it up before the combo tutorial, 3 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Card's good. Sometimes you just need to side them in against certain matchups. The 3rd Droll Unlock and Ash Blossom. Sometimes you really need these cards, and other cards become obsolete. That's why I run the other copies of the hand traps. Consequently, you could also side effect Veilers if that's what you think is a little more important. 1 copy of Raigeki. Raigeki's really good at clearing your opponent's board. I actually had this over Monster Reborn for a little bit until I realized Monster Reborn was a better extender, and Raigeki's just a board wipe. 3 copies of Shared Ride, really good against Sky Striker. I don't care about them making the board as long as they're giving me advantage as well. 3 copies of Twin Twisters. This card is really good at reading your opponent's back row, obviously. And then lastly is 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Now, I did talk about how there was a budget option, and in the budget option, we will be playing Supreme King Gate Zero, Supreme King Dark Worm, Strudel Noodle, and Dragon's Ravine. I actually have another build that plays gadgets. I'll include them both down below in the comment section. I can't really squeeze all that in there with the combo tutorial and status. Try to stay at the 20-minute mark, so I'm going to leave it at that. Without further ado, I'm going to show you guys this combo that will blow your socks off. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so before I get into this combo, I just want to stress that if you guys did not see yesterday's video, Monday's video, then you might want to click on that annotation. This is actually a variation of the combo, an ABC version of the combo, but the other variation is really good. It's so strong, just click on that link. You'll be able to draw 4 cards, special summon a monster, additional normal summon, as well as search a hand trap from your deck to your hand. All of that without using your first normal summon. So you have 3 extra summons after that. It's insane. This ABC variant of the combo is going to be a pretty big lockdown board, and it's really basic. It's a 3-card combo. What you need is Sky Striker, Mecha, Hornet, Drones, Union Hangar, and it does not matter, any ABC monster in your deck to your hand. It makes it as easy as A, B, and C. So just talking about the consistency of this combo, you actually play 3 Sky Striker Hornet drones, and if you guys decide to play 3 Mobilize Engage, you play that as well. I play 3 Union Hangars and 3 Terraformings, and you run 9 Union monsters, so the odds of you being able to pull off this combo is pretty high in your opening board. Let's just start off with it. So first, you're going to activate your Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones, special summoning a token to your side of the field, and then using that Sky Striker Ace token for the Link summon a Striker Ace Kagari. Now, why isn't this card a hard once per turn? I don't know, because you're gonna add it from your graveyard to your hand and then activate it again to gain another token. Now, it's really important that you do start off with this combo, because Striker Hornet drones can only be activated if you control no monsters. Of course, you can activate the Union Hangar first, but I don't want my opponent to know what I'm starting off with. So if they think that I'm playing Sky Strikers, they'll be in for a rude awakening. It's just a little bit of a mind game to play with people, especially if you're playing on Dueling Book. For some reason, they see Sky Striker cards and they quit, which is the reason why I don't like Dueling Book. But now, since you're gonna, before you normal summon, you're actually gonna activate Union Hangar. And with Union Hangar, you're going to add A Assault Core if you don't have it to your hand. If you open the A Assault Core, add B or C. If you don't open the A Assault Core, add it with the Union Hangar. Do not normal summon it just yet. Use your normal summon to normal summon B-Buster Drake, and then use it to equip C-Crush Wyvern from your extra deck, or from your deck to your side of the field. Now, normally we would wrap it on up. We would use the B-Buster Drake, the Striker Ace Kagari to make the TheCaliEffect Genius, and then use the C-Crush Wyvern to summon the A Assault Core, make Deco Talker, then make ABC Buster Dragon. That's a pretty okay combo for you European players, because what I'm about to do, unfortunately, you European players cannot play just yet. Use the Ace Kagari and the B-Buster Drake for your first link, or your second link summon, and that's going to go ahead and special summon TheCaliEffect Genius to your side of the field. And how I like to run it is that I like my C-Crush Wyvern and then my B-Buster Drake. Crush Wyvern is 2 and B-Buster Drake is 1, because my opponent can't Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring my B-Buster Drake. They can only try to stop the C-Crush Wyvern, and there's not a lot of cards to stop that. I'm going to go ahead and special summon A Assault Core, and then I'm going to add Heavy Mech Support Armor from my deck to my hand. Now, there's two things about this next sequence that I'm going to show you guys, and I hope you guys, I mean, it's just a really big Q&A question. I know the card is worded terribly in my opinion, but I have to get over through this card. Use the token and the A Assault Core for a link summon of Nightmare Goblin. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is that, first of all, Nightmare Goblin does not have to be co-linked to use its additional normal summon. It's something that I've argued with people time after time again. I agree, it is a badly worded card, but you don't have to use it. The second thing is that A Assault Core doesn't target. So you can use Nightmare Goblin to detach, obviously activate the A Assault Core as Chainlink 2? Chainlink 1. Activate it as Chainlink 2, activate Nightmare Goblin to Chainlink 1, send Heavy Mech Support Armor, and then add a Heavy Mech Support Armor with your A Assault Core's effect. That's going to give you the additional normal summon. Next, you're going to normal summon the Heavy Mech Support Armor, and then use Heavy Mech Support Armor's effect to spell summon B-Buster Drake back to your side of the field. And just for some reason, if I'm wrong and you can't do that, I guess you'll just need another card in your hand, and this card won't be too hard for, you know, an ABC player to do. You're going to use the B-Buster Drake and the TheCaliEffect Genius as a link summon. And here's where the European players, you guys can kind of cry. You're going to link summon into your Summon Sorceress. I apologize that it's not for you guys, that it's not in the TCG yet, but Summon Sorceress is a really powerful card. I think it's a ban-worthy card later on into the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, but for right now, it's kind of innocent, but it still allows us to pop off with some really big combos. Use B-Buster Drake's effect to add one Union monster from your deck to your hand. If you guys play an additional copy of Heavy Mech Support Armor, you can add that. If you guys don't, then you can add any Union monster. I'm just gonna go ahead and add another copy of A, because I'm almost done with the ABC combos. The next thing I'm gonna do is activate Summon Sorcerer's effect, targeting the Nightmare Goblin to special summon Sangan from my deck to my side of the field. An old rival, an old friend has become a new. He's an awesome card. And then I'm going to continue on with my combo sequence. I am going to use the Sangan and the Summon Sorceress for a link summon. And that's actually going to make my Nightmare Griffin. And the only problem with Nightmare Griffin is that in its main monster zone, it is pointing towards an extra monster zone. So that would be pretty problematic. I don't want my opponent to start getting their effects. All I have to do is just start link summoning into that zone. So I'm actually going to use my A, B, and C to special summon my B-Buster Drake into the extra monster zone that the Nightmare Griffin is pointing to. The last and final thing I'm going to do is activate my Heavy Mech Support Armor to attach itself to the B-Buster Dragon. So this does two things for me. First of all, Nightmare Goblin is co-linked with Nightmare Griffin. Griffin cannot be targeted by card effects. Secondly, ABC Dragon Buster is equipped with Heavy Mech Support Armor, meaning that ABC Dragon Buster cannot be targeted by card effects, and if it were to be destroyed, I can discard the Heavy Mech Support Armor instead. So let's keep this in mind. Your in board is going to be If you started off first, you're gonna have 4 cards in your hand. If you went second, you're gonna have 5 cards in your hand. If you have another spell card in your graveyard, you can set it to your side of the field with Nightmare Griffin, or even if you want the Mecha Hornet drones back to your side of the field, you can discard a card, set it to your side of the field, and draw a card. You're gonna have the ABC Dragon Buster that can't be targeted, the Griffin that can't be targeted. Even more importantly, you can actually use the Dragon Buster's effect and occupy all 3 zones and activate Union Hangar again to equip again. So this deck is really advantageous. It's gonna be able to steamroll through your opponent, and I think that it's a really powerful deck coming into this format still. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Really hope you guys enjoyed watching this combo tutorial. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and be sure to let us know down below in the comment section some other extenders. There are a lot of extenders or a lot of different ways, actually starting off with making Firewall Dragon instead of the Griffin to extend this combo. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am. Stay classy, fellas.